Hey gang, welcome back. Long time no see. Today I'm gonna be talking about fanfics that changed my life. This is also like fics that I've read throughout my life, so it's not just fics that I've read recently, if that makes sense. The first fanfic I'm gonna mention is a fic that was my first pairing fic. It's Breath Prints and Battle Scars by Onyx and Elm. It's Hermione. I know, guys, I know Hermione or not. Whether or not it was a pairing or not, I was still self-inserting. It's all from Hermione's point of view, but we get an idea as to what Draco was thinking through his diary entries, which are crazy, by the way. Fun fact, when I read this fic, I read it twice. When I first read this fic, I had this little purple notebook, which is what Draco was writing in. He was writing in a little purple journal, and I wrote every single one of his diary entries in that little purple journal, and I still have it in my house somewhere in my room. I think it's on my bookshelf, actually. His diary entries are very harsh because he is mandated by the ministry to write diary entries and talk. I guess it's some sort of form of therapy. It is very toxic. This is the most toxic fanfic I have ever read in my life. The toxicity is actually kind of sickening looking back at it, but it was really good. It was a really good fic. Hermione and Draco are very, very toxic to each other and to other people. Hermione is suffering a lot of PTSD, and so is Draco. It doesn't excuse the fact that they are treating everyone around them like shit, but they are. And Hermione especially treats Ron like shit. I will never forget how absolutely flabbergasted I was when I first read that scene of Hermione, Draco, and Ron on the astronomy tower. There is a major character death, which ruined my life, actually. I'm gonna say one word, and if you read it, you'll know what I mean. If you didn't, you wouldn't. Opium. Opium. My second fic is Two Trees by Lakewitch. It's Dreary 8th year. Draco is mandated to take Muggle studies, and he ends up going on a retreat with the whole gang of 8th years. Pansy meddles very hard. Pansy is my meddling baddie. I love her so much, and every single fic I read, I love Pansy. She meddles so hard that she ends up getting Draco and Harry to share a hotel room in the Muggle retreat. A lot of hurt and comfort and healing. Draco loves Disney movies. Also feels just like so much guilt for what he did in the world, and he feels like no one likes him, no one loves him. And he has a really hard time grasping that Harry's just being nice to him. Whenever I think about like a good, heartfelt, healing fic, I think of Two Trees. Next is Heist by otrtbs. otrtbs. It is a Jegulus fic with Wolfstar. Regulus is a criminal mastermind. I love this fic. I've read it twice now, and I actually have it binded. I got it off Etsy. I know that this is not something that people should do, okay? I know it's not something that people should do, but I actually couldn't help myself. I've annotated it, the whole thing. I got my friend Roxy, shout out Roxy, to annotate as well, so both of our annotations are in this. I'm blue and she's pink. It's my first Jegulus fic, and I think about it every day of my life. So Regulus is a criminal mastermind, and he hires a bored and unfulfilled James, who quit his job a couple months ago and was looking for a new job. We also have barista Remus, who is actually James's best friend and the barista at the local coffee shop that James frequents. There is Black Brothers angst to the absolute maximum. Other than that, there was a lot of like lighthearted moments, but it kind of gets you because it gives you like all these little like lighthearted moments, and then there's a main character death. Copenhagen is a trigger word for me. I flinch like an abused child whenever I hear that word, and it's a no magic AU, but also a little, I guess it's like a little novella, I guess if you could call it, called Tender Curiosities Baby. And it's like about Barty and Evan, which I really like too. I can't talk about fan fiction that have changed my life without mentioning all of the big three, but I'll get to that. This is Isolation by bexchan. It's like one of the top 3 Hermione fics that I personally consider the big 3. It's a 7th year rewrite where Hermione doesn't go Horcrux hunting with Ron and Harry. And because Draco failed to kill Dumbledore, Voldemort was going to kill Draco for his failure. Snape ends up taking him to Hogwarts, and the only way to keep him safe is so that he stays with Hermione in her head girl dorm, because Hermione is head girl. It's a true enemies to lovers, like true enemies to lovers. But there's also a major character death in this one. That was my first ever tearjerker, which I'll insert, actually. I sobbed my fucking eyes out. I sobbed my eyes out. I already mentioned this one before, so I'll mention it really quickly. Draco Malfoy in the Journal of Dreadful Things. If you want to hear more about it, I did just post another video about it. My favorite fics I read in January. I read this one 4 times over the course of August, around like July, August of 2025 to January. Now, I can't do a video about fanfictions that changed my life without mentioning the Bible of the Marauders fandom, which is All the Young Dudes by Miss King Bean 89. This was like the first Marauders fic I've read. I feel like a lot of people, especially if you've even like watched Harry Potter, you've probably read All the Young Dudes or heard of All the Young Dudes. This fic, there's certain aspects that I think about on a regular basis. For an example, have you ever kissed anyone, Remus? Another thing I think about so often is Grant Chapman. I was Grant Chapman. He's so much more like of a better man than I am, like better person than I am, because I would have thrown fucking hands. I just loved Wolfstar and how like crazy they were, like Sirius asking Remus about his hip and then Remus going, let's talk about your abusive mother. Like that was really iconic. The camping trip was so good, and I really liked how during the war it talked about how suspicious Remus and Sirius were getting of each other, because Sirius was black and Remus was a werewolf, and it was, oh my god, it was devastating. Now these 2 fics are the fics that have quite literally actually changed my life. I read it for the first time in grade 9. It is still to this day one of the best written pieces of literature I've ever read. Manacled by Senlinyu. I know that it's really controversial, especially right now with Alchemized came out. I can't get it on AO3 anymore. The Hermione alternate universe where Voldemort wins. And it's like very reminiscent of The Handmaid's Tale. So pureblood families are dying out because they keep inbreeding. Voldemort, in an effort to repopulate, has given out the surviving women of the war, as surrogates for pure-blooded men. Hermione ends up being Draco's surrogate. I know. Okay? I know. It sounds terrible. There's just so much to it. It's so much more than that. There are flashbacks about 25 chapters in. There's flashbacks to how things used to be, to find out that Draco and Hermione did know each other previous to this, and Hermione lost a bunch of her memory. Diary of Draco, You Will Always Be Famous to Me. It is the fic of depression and despair. Aww. I don't even remember the weeks following me reading Manacled because I was just thinking about it. I would think about it and bawl my eyes out. You will never catch a break. Which I'm sure you've gotten, a very, 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 very dark romance, and you should check the trigger warnings. I have recommended Manacled to about everyone who's ever known me in my life. Like, Manacled is probably my second favorite fic in the world. Well, it's one that has actually changed me so much, and whenever I think about it, I can't cope. I don't ship Hermione anymore, but I did back in high school. But now we'll move on. If you know me, you knew this was coming, and I saved the best for last. Crimson Rivers by Bizzarestars. I cannot tell you how life-altering this fic was for me. It's a Hunger Games alternate universe with no magic. Sirius, Regulus, and James are all from District 6. James and Regulus are called at the Reaping. I think it's the 85th Reaping. And Sirius is their mentor. Sirius became their mentor because he was a tribute at one point, and he volunteered for Regulus when Regulus was 15 and Sirius was 16. James is in love with Regulus and has been since he was 16. He tells Sirius, like, I'm getting him out of there. I'm getting him out of there no matter what. He is coming home. And Sirius is like, why? Because nobody knows that James is in love with Regulus. To the first arena is very similar to the actual Hunger Games books. But after you get in the arena, it's quite different. Like, there are some similarities, but it is quite different. Especially the second arena as well. Very different. Remus is an Avox. Or, like, Avox adjacent. He doesn't actually have his tongue cut out. That's, like, a little difference that they made. Sirius and Remus fall for each other as well because it's Wolfstar, obviously. There's Wolfstar, Mary Lily, Dorleen, Regulus, obviously. It's really, really good. Basically, everyone is gay, which I love. It is the perfect combination of the Hunger Games and Harry Potter. The best piece of literature I have ever read in my life. If I cannot climb, I will grow. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna insert some clips of me actually reading it because I did record my reading journey and stuff, so you'll get some clips from my TikTok and see how I felt reading it. It's the chapter Brothers. Everybody is very self-sacrificing though, which is quite wild. Volunteers, you promised, I lied. Grape jelly, bagels. I fucking hate bagels. It's so devastatingly beautiful. And there's actually a happy ending. But there is multiple major character deaths because this is the Hunger Games. Everybody with a point of view won't die. So that actually really helped me a lot through reading. That does include James, Regulus, Sirius, Remus, Lily, and Dorcas, and Euphemia. Here are some clips of me reading it, and I really hope you enjoy that.
Was on ready and set for the James hater bandwagon, but by the end I was like, okay, I've had enough. I've had enough now. Seriously, like, I can't handle this shit anymore, guys. Like, I can't handle this anymore. It's been 5 days and I'm tweaking. Okay, so like a million chapters in, and we finally have a Willow confession. Usually it takes a week, a day. Regulus punches Sirius in the face and takes his bag of stuff.
And James is just perfect all throughout this. Of course he is. He's just perfect and mesmerizing and gorgeous and stunning.
Do anything for Narcissa. I see why our parents were disappointed in you.
Gagged? I was gagged.
Where I'm at is the next chapter. It's called Climbing. No one ever thinks to look up until there's a sound. Basically, this fic is ruining me.
Hey, love.
No!
And the fuck-ass bogger says, you're hesitating, love. I'm actually not coping. Oh, bro. Sirius catches it.
What? Okay. I love her so much. And that's it for my second video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I really hope that you read some of these fics because they're so good. Especially the Regulus ones. They're really, really good. I highly recommend. They were probably the ones that I think about the most often, especially because they're the ship I read the most. But I really hope you enjoyed, and I really hope you guys have a great day. Bye!